Mr. Lang?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Newton?
Yes, sir.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. We appreciate everybody that's come out to participate. And I've asked Commissioner Martin to lead us in prayer and Commissioner Thomas to lead us in our flag as we call to order February the 16th meeting.
All right. Dear Lord, we just, first of all, we want to thank you for that rain we got. We really needed that, and we appreciate the rain. We just thank you for all the wonderful blessings you've given us. We thank you, dear Lord, for being able to live in this county and to be able to meet like this and conduct the business of the county. We ask now, dear Lord, that you be with us in this meeting and direct us in the ways that would be pleasing to you and the best for Gilchrist County and best for the citizens, dear Lord. We also always ask that you bless our first responders and our police and all those that put their way in harm's way to protect us. We ask that you be with those that are sick and those families that have lost people. I know there's a lot of sickness going around, and we just ask that you bless them and be with them and be with the families that are caring for them. I have a special request for Mr. Billy Michael as he's had a liver transplant and he's in a lot of pain. He seems to be taking the liver okay, but they put him back in ICU with the infection. We just ask, dear Lord, that you be with him, be with his family as he continues to heal. And we thank you for that. And we ask all these things, dear Lord, in your wonderful name. Amen.
Amen. Address the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Wouldn't nobody get confused.
Ain't much difference.
All right. As far as the agenda, do we have any agenda changes?
I have none, sir.
I have none, Mr. Chairman.
And I have none.
All right. We have a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed, motion passes. Did everybody get a chance to look at the consent agenda? And do you have any questions related to that?
Mr. Chairman, I just have one comment. The Michael Baker International Inc., that is also grant funded as well. I failed to let them know that, but that is part of our maintenance program for our mapping with E911. So,
Okay.
I have a question about the Anderson payment. We still holding some contingency money because they're done all but the guardrails, and I just want to make sure the guardrails get done.
yes, sir.
So we're still holding some,
Yes, sir.
400 and something. Okay, that's the way I read it. That's the way I understood. I just want to make sure I was right on that.
All right, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
With the, well, I guess there weren't any changes. Okay.
Yep. So we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. All right, we come to the part of our agenda where the public has a chance to participate and provide input and comments or have questions. And if there are any items that are not on the agenda and you'd like to speak to that, we'd welcome you to come, or you have the opportunity to do that at the end of our meeting as well. So not seeing any. Okay. No constitutional officers here that other than those that are participating. And so we'll move on to county administrator items.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My agenda starts on item 6 today under general. It's the Centennial Monument. We have representatives here today from the Centennial Group, as you know, that worked very hard last year on all of our Centennial programs. But I'm going to ask them to come forward if they will and present a monument that they have and all the details that she has. Thank you.
I don't think anybody else is coming up here with me. That's okay. Good afternoon. Thank y'all so much for allowing us to be here. Last year, as you know, was our centennial celebration. And I was asked, I think probably 2 years ago, well over 2 years ago, Daryl came up to me at the walkathon and said, hey, would you be interested in being a part of the Centennial Committee? And I said, sure. Well, first I said who I was on it. sometimes I don't play well with others, so I wanted to make sure. He was on there. And he had mentioned the judge and some other people, and I said, absolutely, whatever we need to do. So we had several events. You know, we hosted a beauty pageant. We did, at some point, y'all helped provide fireworks. We did several things. Donna with tourist development was monumental and kind of spearheading us. We started with Walter Wobig, and then there was some stuff that happened. I'm not sure what all happened transpired with the chamber, but Donna very graciously stepped in, and she was phenomenal. She was a pleasure to work with. She kept the emails coming. She took the minutes. She, transcribed everything, and she made it very enjoyable, Donna. Thank you so much. Anyway, there were several others on the committee, and one of the largest things we wanted to do was the 100-year feast, similar to the Beast Feast of the past that the Education Foundation used to put on. So we wanted to do it as a fundraiser. Well, people were asking, what are you going to do with the funds that you raise? We came up with the idea to have a 100-year monument. It's a centennial. It's a big deal for Gilchrist County. And I've got something that I'd like to pass out with your permission. I'll just take one and pass it down. So we were able to raise, as you can see, as soon as spread out there, or I think there are only 5 for the.
That's all right, we can share.
I'm
We
good.
can look at, we can
I'm the
share.
least important here.
There you
Yeah,
go,
sure.
Duke, that's right.
Need to
That's
be on
right.
the chair.
I'll leave you mine.
No, Bobby and I'll share here too.
Anyway, we came up with the monument. This is an example as to what it should look like. Now, this picture that you're seeing up on the slide does not have the base to it. We were wanting it to represent, well, it does have a base, but the base that we're going to do, that should be in your packet picture maybe. If not, I've got one here. It's going to have a water reservoir around the bottom to represent the springs and the river. So it's, just a small basin. It won't be very deep.
It's gonna be that
Page
design
4.
with the deer and the
There it is.
fish.
Yes, sir. So,
Okay.
It's gonna be that design with the deer and the fish, and I
yes,
like that.
yes,
That's
Charlie
pretty.
Hines.
That's pretty.
Actually, y'all have seen the shirts and the hats.
Yeah.
Charlie designed all of our Centennial logo stuff, and we were very thankful. She did a phenomenal job. We sold shirts and hats. Anyway, long story short, your first page of what I just handed you, Dixie Monument from Cross City. We've been working closely with them. They are going to do the 100-year monument. It's going to cost roughly $33,000. The Centennial Committee last year, with all the events that we hosted, was able to raise $26,983.12. And that's with all expenses already taken out of that. We just deposited that, I believe, earlier in the month to the Gilchrist County Historical Society account. Mr. Crosby informed us that we were allowed to put that in there, which was great. Just this afternoon, Scott Guthrie has donated from Seacoast Bank another $2,000.
Wow.
So that leaves us with a balance of $4,016.88. I can continue to fundraise if I need to. We weren't sure. Mr. Crosby had said, let me check with the board. We'll see what they want to do. The monument, as you can see, the packet that, there we go, right there, where it says our specs, there were certain things that we wanted to make sure that it had. It's going to be lit. We're going to have solar lights to it, so it will be able to be visible at night. We also,
Wow.
the IT guy, Bobby,
Brian?
Brian Freeman, yes, he came up with the idea of a QR code. So when people walk up to it,
Oh, that's a
it'll
good
have
idea.
a QR code, and you can snap that with your phone.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll give the historical information about Gilchrist County.
That is
So
a great
it's
idea.
gonna have that as well. We put a lot of thought into it, a lot of time and effort. Dixie Monument has been phenomenal, with working with us, and we had thought, as you see on the second page that I passed out, we would like to present it, and these are just some rough pictures, where the red X is and where the 100, you can see the monument there in front of the courthouse on the second page on the top pictures. We were thinking just opposite sidewalk of the flagpole.
That'd be pretty, yeah. I like
So
that.
that's the reason we didn't want to go with the gray color, because we didn't want it to be over here with the veterans and the military memorials. We wanted it to be over on the courthouse lawn.
That's
Of
really
course,
nice.
That's with y'all's approval, and if y'all decide that you want it somewhere different, obviously, we're just a committee asking for a recommendation, so, anyway.
If I could just comment, as far as the remaining balance of the $4,016.88, there's some additional funds in the Historical Society. I spoke with Ms. Donna and spoke with Steve. And so they could easily donate $2,000 as well. So if that would only leave if the board wanted to pick up the difference of, right now, $2,016.88. So if the board agrees to that, then we can, they will have, at this point, they would have all the money they feel needed.
And any excess of Dixie Monument says,
And we do have $150 to deposit of shirts and hats that we sold from the
Okay.
canal to that.
Okay.
and
Thank
if
you,
Dixie
Donna.
Monument comes, after, and they will handle the installation, everything, delivery, all that's included in that 33,000. If for some reason there's a little bit of excess cost, I will personally go out and raise the money
No.
to make sure it's covered, so.
What about the tourism tax? Can we use some of that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a problem.
I don't either. I
Easy.
think y'all put a lot of work and a lot of
Looks good.
effort into it. I think it's absolutely beautiful.
I think it's gorgeous.
And you put a lot of effort and thought into doing it, the QR code, the water running around it. I think it looks good and what you've got here of the picture, so I have no problem with donating the extra money that's needed to put this thing and get it done.
Looks
No
good.
motion?
I
Yes.
will make that in the form of a motion that we donate a little over, was it $2,000?
2,000, well,
2016-88.
well, Donna had some,
The remainder of the balance needed to put the monument in the ground.
Second.
Okay, now a motion and a second to approve the board, the county contributing to the monument. Any other discussion?
no, but I just want to thank the committee. Y'all put a lot of work into all these fundraisers, and that is a lot of money y'all raised.
Yep.
And I appreciate everybody's hard work.
Well, the 100-year feast, it was almost
It's-
very reminiscent of the Beast Feast of
Yeah.
past.
That's a lot of money y'all
There were
raised.
so many businesses, so many individuals. I called a lot of people out of retirement to come and be a part and cook. And Todd Bryant told me, never again. Just realize there's only
Never
two
again.
women that I would have ever considered doing this for.
Never.
And that's Sue Bryant and you, and I'm done now. So
The next 100 years, somebody else is gonna have to do
that
it, right?
it won't be my turn. That's right. Well, thank y'all very much.
Mr. Chairman, I want to thank y'all also for all the hard work. Could I make a request that we don't close the deal till the end of the month? Because I still have a couple resources. I know Duke Energy come in last week, talked about
Oh,
a
yeah.
historical grant program that they have. I don't know if we'd qualify, but it sure won't hurt to ask.
Oh, yeah.
And then I know of
That's a
a
good
couple of other sources. So we only got a couple weeks left in February. Can we just close the deal at the end of February, and then whatever balances due, we can move forward?
Mr. Chairman, I think the way Mr. Martin said that the county would pick up the remaining balance.
Yeah.
So I think if we would leave our motion that way, if everyone agrees, if we get any additional funding in between there, then that would change that amount that the county
Whatever
would
the difference
take.
is.
So I
So
didn't
we would be
put
okay
amount
going
on it. I
ahead.
just said the
Okay.
remaining
If you're
balance.
okay with doing it that
And-
way.
And I don't know, I know I've ordered stuff before from Dixie Monument, but you don't pay, I mean, I know I didn't pay the whole
You don't pay in
amount.
full, correct.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
well, you'll have time.
That gives me a little time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank y'all so much.
Julie, I'd like
Thank you.
to
Thank y'all.
Thank
say
y'all.
as well, you ask people that, a lot of times you ask people to help. And people sometimes say they're going to help, and they don't help. Sometimes people not necessarily want to help, but they are leaders in our community, and that's the way it has been in our county for years. And so we appreciate what you and all the committee have done. I know Ms. Cindy Jo, you mentioned Juan Henley. Who else was involved? Miss Donna?
The majority of the meetings, Ms. Cindy Jo, Tammy Crosby, Kimberly Hines, Ms. Pat Watson, there was a big group, and everyone just, was totally supportive, totally all in, and didn't want any recognition, just wanted to be a part of the whole. So.
Yeah, and then there's lots of people with the feast that I know stepped up and helped, and they wouldn't have helped other than having you guys leading the charge, and we appreciate, we won't ask you to do that again.
Yeah, I won't tell you Bill Dean's comments. He still was here and he did it. So.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
you.
y'all very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
That's nice.
you. It is.
Mr. Chairman, the next item I have is item B under general. It's the Otter Springs termination lease agreement. As you know, we spoke about that the four vets had asked to return the park to Gilchrist County, in which they are going to be giving us the keys back in the morning to the facility. This is the lease termination that was created by Mr. Lane. Page 3 has been signed by Mr. Dan Kavanaugh and Miss Cynthia Thomas. However, they failed to have it notarized properly. So what we'd like to do is get the approval of the termination of lease agreement, and then they've been made aware, they're re-executing that page. Once we get the correctly executed page, then we'll have the chairman sign it after that part, so.
Yeah, Bobby, can you briefly talk about, so I've had some questions related to why the county's getting it back, and can you just, in 10 seconds or less, basically talk about, they've asked us to take it back, and.
Board, before he does that, this is the error that they made.
Yes, sir.
The officers signed, and one of them happened to be a notary, and she notarized her own signature.
You can't do that, can you?
That's right, and see, they didn't fill out the actual acknowledgement underneath,
Okay.
so they're gonna re-execute it.
Thank you.
Correct that, but
Yes,
it's
sir.
effective at 12 midnight tonight,
Okay,
okay?
very good.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I guess the question is the purpose that the county's, what I want to do is commend all those involved, Mr. Dan Kavanaugh, Miss Debbie, and several others, and a lot of people I don't even know or probably know the names. This was really a great thought, a great plan. And I think they wound up being more stumbling blocks, along with maybe some health issues, that just kind of made this come to a point that dream or that goal was just not going to be possible. And it got to be a little more than they could handle or they could take care of anymore. So with that, it's been a couple of months ago, I guess Mr. Lang and I met with the staff and the representatives, and they had asked, they would like to just give it back to the county, with the hopes that Otter Springs would still operate, but it just wasn't feasible for them to try to move forward with what they had planned to do originally. A few of us in here, or several, was involved in that original part. It took about 2 years to get it to that point, and a lot of hard work and a lot of great intentions. I don't think anybody, but it just didn't work out. I don't think nobody personal fault or anything in that, but it just didn't make it. So at that point, we had a lease, and they had asked if we would take it back, and so that is what's got us to where we're at here today.
Okay. Anybody else got questions?
Duke, you said this will be effective at midnight tonight?
That's correct.
Okay, in one of the paragraphs, it says, in the event that the tenant should fail to remove its personal property by the termination date, then the landlord becomes, has possession of it. So have they got all their stuff out?
That's deemed abandonment, and we can dispose of the property, but there is also a clause in there, Mr. Langford, and Bobby sent his representatives out today to check the campground to make sure everything had been removed.
Okay.
And I believe, I'll let him speak for himself, but I think it was.
I just want to make sure they get their stuff on time.
Right.
And all that kind of stuff.
Well, the few items that they have are strictly paperwork in a box.
Right.
That they would
Maybe
like
an
to
ink
get.
pen or two?
And they just hadn't got that out yet, and I told them we'd gladly work with them over the next week to come in. It's in
Okay.
one building, and just come clear out their paperwork. So,
I had one question from a lady. Do you know how long we plan on closing it? Because there was a very large group that played bingo out there on Thursday night. And she says, we still want to be able to play bingo on Thursday night. Can we do that? And I said, well, I don't know. I know it's going to be closed for a period of time. I don't know how long.
that all depends on the next presentation I got to you with the budget and
Okay.
of that. But, to go ahead and answer your question, we would hope that it's back operable in 45 days.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You will need to come up and tell us your name.
I just like to see this go to record. Dan Kavanaugh's health failed to the point that he was not physically able to follow through. And I think he needs to be given credit for that. All of us some of them are getting closer to being old than others, but, I think that was the predicating thing that brought it to where it's at.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it
Mr.
wasn't for
Mayor.
lack of trying, Jackie.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's been doing it since 2014, you know.
And
and-
he was a great guy.
He worked
Yeah.
hard too. He worked real
Yeah,
hard,
Mr.
especially at the start.
I don't think everybody recognizes Mr. Dan has done lots of good for our community and our county and doesn't reflect. Yeah, thank you for that input, though. Anybody else have any questions? What's the pleasure of the board?
I move to accept the agreement to terminate the lease with Otter Springs.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the termination of the lease agreement with, for Otter Springs. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, Mr. Crosby, the next item is
Mr. Chair,
related.
we do have a 415 time certain.
I'm sorry, say that
We
again.
do have a 415 time certain.
Okay, 4:15, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for that reminder. And are you going to lead us with that?
Sure. So we have before the board an ordinance, it's ordinance 2026-04. It's an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners of Gilchrist County, Florida, relating to taxation, providing for the levy of a discretionary 1 cent sales tax for emergency fire rescue services and facilities, surtax pursuant to section 215.055, subsection 8, Florida statutes, providing for the collection, distribution, and use of the sales surtax proceeds, providing for a plan for the use of the sales surtax proceeds, providing for the levy of the sales surtax to be subject to approval by the electors of Gilchrist County in a referendum, providing for a referendum to be held, providing for notification of approval of the sales surtax, and providing for severability, providing for applicability, and providing an effective date. Before we move forward with the ordinance, I kind of wanted to explain to those that are not familiar with what we're talking about, what exactly is this. So what we have is the opportunity by the state to initiate a 1 cent sales tax that would in essence replace current property taxes or possibly special assessments. And so, again, its use is for emergency fire rescue services, which includes preventing and extinguishing fires, protecting and saving life and property from fires, or natural or intentional acts or disasters, for enforcing municipal, county, or state fire prevention codes and laws pertaining to the prevention and control of fires, and for providing pre-hospital emergency medical treatment. So in order to move forward, the board does have to approve the ordinance that I just read by title only. It would require a referendum to be voted on in a general election, so this would happen in November of this year. And if the voters decided that they want to move forward with it, then it would be successful and the ordinance would be adopted. If this were to go into place, it would require the county to share with all municipalities that provide fire services in the county. So that would be Fanning Springs and the city of Trenton. They do have the option of participating. They're not required to, but if they choose to, then we're required to share whatever's their portion. The big thing with this is if it goes into effect, it basically has to replace property taxes or fire assessment. So what would happen is on January 1st of 2027, if it were approved, the sales tax would go into effect. And we would start collecting within the county the sales tax. Our next budget year, we would have to replace whatever the estimated sales tax would be. So we would have to reduce our MSTU, potentially reduce our fire assessment by whatever dollar amount is going to be collected. And then you basically have a true up on an annual basis based on the amount collected, so that in essence it's a replacement, not an addition. So it's not necessarily a new tax, it's just a different way to collect the tax. And of course the benefit to it, to property owners, is that tourists are going to help contribute to the costs of our fire and EMS expenses.
What does it take to pass, 50 plus 1,
I believe it's 60%, isn't it?
60%?
Yeah. So, it does have to get 60% of the electors to approve it.
Well, if it's advertised as what it really is, you would think everybody would say, hey, let's let everybody else pay for this, and, because it's gonna reduce our bill. So I see no problem with it if people passing through Gilchrist County and visiting our springs and using their boat in our river and stuff, spend their money in Gilchrist County, then that just saves everybody here a little bit of money, and that's the residents some money, and that's a good thing.
That's presuming that the sales tax that you're implementing is equal to or greater than what you're getting on the special assessment now.
Well, it's not. It's less than. It's not going to 100% replace our expenses at this point.
But it is gonna reduce, won't they just reduce?
It will,
the-
it will
Yes.
reduce the special assessment on the people that pay it.
So unfortunately, it will not eliminate, our fire and EMS costs. It's just going to supplement. So you'll be paying
What did we
less.
figure a penny would bring? What would we say a
So
penny would
the
bring?
estimate, if you go down
I saw it.
to page 6, Caitlin. So the estimate would be around 2,145,000 is what would have been generated in '25.
To what?
2,145,000.
And how much do we collect right now on the fire special assessment?
The fire special assessment is
That's a lot of money off of a penny.
Fire special assessment is budgeted at, $1,313,188.
Okay, so that brings it down a
That
lot
brings it in
then.
half.
yeah.
What- More than half.
MSTU number too.
Yes, sir, just curiosity, please.
So in considering this, we currently fund fire and EMS on a 50-50 basis, our staffing. And so that's kind of how we were looking at it when we were looking at the reduction, is that we would reduce our MSTU. 50% of what was raised for the county would go towards the MSTU. 50% would go towards
Fire.
the fire specialist.
Yeah, and the 2.2 is the county estimate? That
So
doesn't-
2.2 would be the total. 2.145 is the
Okay.
total. Of that, the estimate would be that the county would receive
Oh, that's right.
a little less than 1.9 million.
Okay.
And then the rest would go between the other municipalities.
But the Fannin and Trenton would have to opt in though.
They do have to opt in, and if they do opt in, they have the same requirement. If they opt in, they have to reduce theirs by the amount that's collected as
We
well for
have
them.
Mr. Mayor here. I don't know if you want to comment at this time related to this, or you want to think about it and get back.
What
or-
was the MSTU?
It's $1,361,000.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, Trip Lancaster, Mayor Fansburg. We're really just here on information gathering.
Okay.
Trying to get our minds wrapped around what y'all are looking to do. Had a conversation with the county manager previously, but that's been several months. But we were just trying to see
Okay.
where y'all at and what it would look like laid out.
Okay. We appreciate your input whenever.
So we'll have more input as we go
All right.
along and
Sound.
understand a little more, but we wanted to get a jumping off point to see what we were looking at.
Sounds good.
For me to understand correctly, if we did the 50, we would have to increase our, we don't have the fire assessment.
So you would have to actually decrease your ad valorem tax by that amount.
Okay, well, that's what I'm trying to make sure I.
Yeah, and that's the challenge is every county, every municipality does it a little different. Hamilton County just implemented this in '24,
Right.
and they strictly have, same thing, they come out of ad valorem. They don't have a special assessment or an MSTU.
Right. Okay.
So they had to reduce theirs, they're just their ad valorem amount by that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just the requirement is how much ever's generated in tax, you have to reduce your ad valorem by that amount. And
Gotcha.
so, and again, it is an option. I know Hamilton County, this past year was the first year that they it was in effect. I know that their municipalities actually opted out the first year, and I don't know if the reason was just to kind of get things implemented so that they knew exactly what they were looking at. I haven't talked to Hamilton County recently to find out if the other municipalities are going to opt in this year.
And
But
Jasper may have an assessment that it didn't behoove them to, their thought process to do that.
yeah,
Will this also affect any money we receive from the county itself
no,
for the outside zone area?
no, that's completely separate. Yeah, we'll
Wanna make
continue.
sure, right?
Yeah, we'll continue to. I mean,
Try not to-
of course, up to the board, but I'm assuming that the
Sure.
board would continue with everything as it is.
I know we cover a large area than the city of Trenton current issue.
Yes,
Picking up a lot of that slack as well, so,
that's right.
okay. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
All right,
thanks for
thank you,
coming.
appreciate it.
And remember, those numbers you gave us is a projection.
Correct.
It could be more,
It could be
less.
more, and it can be less. And again, that's why it has to be evaluated every year
Yeah.
to determine what was received the prior year.
Yep. And Mr. Newton, this ordinance is you use based on what Hamilton
Correct.
County had done as well.
That's right.
Any other questions from the board, or? Nope. How about the public? Anybody else from the public? Or,
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance number 2026-04.
okay, have a motion?
I'll second it.
In a second, any other, Mr. Lang, or?
Todd, did we change the February 2nd date on the last page of the execution of the ordinance?
Yes, sir. I'm pretty certain that we did.
Initially, it said February 2nd.
No, it's not.
You need to come to the podium
Yeah.
and speak your name.
For an additional 1 cent sales tax might have as potential depression in overall sales within the county. Our retail base in this county is not really growing.
It's not local, is that what you said?
Our local retail base is not really growing, in my opinion. In fact, all I've seen it do most of my life is shrink. Just something to consider.
Right.
Well, if you look at the, if we could go to the slides real quick. So if you go to page 5 of the slides. So this is a history of the surtax, what it would have done over time. So we went back to 2005. In 2005, it generated just over $600,000. And you can see over time, it's been a gradual increase. During the last, the Great Recession, you can see that it did decline. It went from 603 all the way down to just under $553,000. So during a recession, it does have the potential to contract. But over time, it has been a gradual increase.
That's the surtax, that's not the sales tax.
That's the surtax.
It's a penny.
My comment is, what is the potential impact on going from a 7% sales tax to an 8% sales tax on our retail merchants?
I mean,
I don't know the answer.
We get.
I could check with Hamilton County and see if they saw any kind of decline, because they just put it into place this past year, just to see if there was any effect, but
You certainly don't need to see a decrease
correct.
in retail purchase.
We got the new dollar store out there on 47 too. I know that's gonna be more money this year.
That's right.
And
So
if
see-
one of the things we talked about, if you'll notice, the spike, when we started seeing that bigger spike, was right around the COVID, and then it seemed like more people went to the Amazon and the home deliveries, and the state implemented sales tax.
Yes.
Which we didn't have at first when they were doing home deliveries. There was no sales tax, and that's what spiked it. We had watched this for a number of years, and we just never could see enough growth to make it worth the presentation, or would it benefit? But really what spiked it was when they added the sales tax to the home deliveries, and that's what kind of made it look a little bit more. And,
Which
I agree
also-
with your point, locally,
Yeah.
so much stuff comes in That way.
which also would insulate the effect, of potential decline, because it is on all, internet sales as well, so.
So, Mr. Newton, if the board, assuming we approve the ordinance, what would be the process?
So if the board approves today, we will send the ordinance to APAGA. They will conduct an audit.
What is that, Todd, for the board? What is that,
OPAGA,
Yeah,
the Office of, oh Lord,
they have to analyze the ordinance, in other words.
It's the state review, that's right.
it's the Office of Program Policy Analysis and Government Accountability.
I don't like those acronyms.
That's why I said the OPAC.
So by statute, if you try to implement this, the state requires OPAGA to initiate an audit. They're going to actually pay for the audit. They get to choose who they send for the audit. But what the audit will do is it will go through our fire and EMS programs to determine if there's, how the operation runs in essence. Yes, and I saw the audit for Hamilton County, and it's pretty extensive what they look through. And but anyway, so we send this to APAGA. They will initiate the audit. They will go through our programs to determine how our operations run. And once they produce the audit, we have to have that within 60 days of the election. And that has to be posted on the website for anybody to view and review. So basically, we've got enough time now that they would have enough time to do the audit and get it basically posted prior to the election. So,
And if my memory serves me correctly too, there's a deadline as far as the advertising has to be one time 5 weeks before the election, and again 3 weeks before the election. Is that
correct. Yep, that's right.
Quick question for Bobby. Bobby, are you aware, and I don't know, is this surtax, if it were to be passed, is it applicable and collected by online merchants such as Amazon and those, and then come back to the county? Is it enforced that way?
Yes, sir. It would be collected just like your normal sales tax, just like they pay what they pay
So the
now.
revenue stream might not be impacted.
And then redistributed from DOR back to us. Yeah.
It still raises a concern as to the validity and the health of retail. But that's it.
That's right.
So, Mr. Newton, the APAGA audit, would they also do an economic impact?
They do not. This is strictly an operational audit.
Do we have to, as part of the ordinance, come up with a potential economic impact?
That's not part of the statute,
Okay,
no.
all right.
Golly, I don't know how we would do that. We'd have to hire a professional to do that. You're talking about a business impact statement referenced in the...
Yes, sir. I mean, there's other counties that have done it, and we probably could get some information from them, but there might be more to it than that as well. So, all right, we've got a motion and a second. Any other questions?
Well, with no more retail than we have in Gilchrist County, I wouldn't anticipate a major impact. Most of your retail stores are collecting agency. In other words, this is not going to affect the price of their product. They're just collecting the sales tax for the state. Now, if we had major corporations, and I'll give you an example, if we sold semi trucks and your sales tax was 7 cents, mine was 8 cents, I could save a little bit of money by shopping with you in another county or wherever it may be. But for what retail we're talking about, I don't think it would see much of an impact on a retail store myself. That's just, me looking at it. But
Well,
I think
and-
it would help. And of course, it's going to depend on the economy. Good economy, we're going to bring in some money, and bad economy, it won't
Yeah,
be so
and
hot.
when you consider 1 cent, I mean, for every $100 you spend, you're spending $1.
Right,
So it's not a drastic,
right.
it's not like a 15% increase in your
Right.
cost. So,
Well,
again,
most businesses are rounding up to the closest nickel now anyway. A lot of them already got signs up, we're rounding to the closest nickel, so, I mean, there could be 2 cent difference right there.
Wow.
Yeah, I
That's
think
all I have.
the primary thing we were looking at originally was whatever we raised would reduce property tax to our local landowners and property. And that's the big thing I see as the advantage for this.
Is reducing taxes and.
Yeah. The other thing that's going to happen in November is constitutional amendments related to property tax, and there might be a chance we lose that as a source of revenue, and this would be another way to help support our priorities, fire rescue.
Correct.
All right, we've got
And
a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, sounds like the motion passes, so we'll move forward with that. And anything else, Mr. Newton, on that? You've got another,
Got another time.
certain, and that would be Bobby or,
I can take it. We have a 4:30 time certain, which is Resolution 2026-01, Land Development Code Amendment, which we've been requesting a continuation for a couple of meetings. Also, at the 4:35, which I think we've made two, is the ordinance that goes with it is 2026-01, which is the Land Development Code Amendment, which is requested continued also for a couple of
Can we
meetings.
do them both at the same time?
Future date. I believe we can. What we want now is just a motion for the resolution 2026-01 and ordinance 2026-02, that at this time, we will not continue that, and we will just bring it back at a future date, and we'll re-advertise once we get all the information we need prepared for it.
okay, we have a motion?
Yeah, a motion to bring it back at a future date.
Not
Request to
continue.
continue to a future date.
Bring it
We're
back.
asking not to continue it though, right?
Right.
But not to
Not to
continue now.
continue
We'll bring
to
it
a
at a
future
future
date.
date, we bring it, we'll just re-advertise and start over.
It says request to continue, but we're wanting to not continue.
Correct.
And we're gonna bring it back at just another date.
Okay.
Don't continue and put it back on the agenda.
There's nobody from the public here either, you need to check.
Okay, we've got a motion to not continue Resolution 2026-01 and ordinance 2026-01. And do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second? Anybody from the public want to comment related to that? Not seeing any. Any other questions from the board? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, Mr. Crosby.
Yeah, yes, sir. My next item is under General C. It's the Otter Springs Budget and Revenue Sheet. Went through and have looked at some of the buildings, some of the things we may need, estimated payroll, and the cost of electrical and moving forward with Otter Springs. Why this is a budget, I like to consider it as an investment in Otter Springs because we will get a return. We're looking at just a budget of $573,900.
I have a question. Now, we only have 7.5 months in our budget right now, so did you take that into consideration?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much is our budget right now for Hart Springs, just for comparison?
I did not bring that with me.
Richard's got it.
You got it right there, Richard.
It's
I think it's almost $1 million. I think it's right at $1 million.
Springs budget is, $833,015.
And then what is, just curiosity, for, personal services?
$381,215.
Did you all, Bobby?
And that's for a whole year,
Yeah.
and this is for 7.5 months.
Yes.
Did you base this budget on a similar model to what we have at Hart Springs?
I looked up, I went back years, now granted, this was 13 and 14.
I think so.
Yeah, 13 and 14. And I pulled those up so that we could see what it was costing.
Yes, sir.
And it was very similar.
Okay.
And,
Fortunately, I didn't bring this with me, but
yeah, and what we need to remember here, this is a budget. I mean, and what we're doing is we're creating a budget. Doesn't mean we have to spend it all. We may not need all of this budget, but we have to create a budget to be able to operate the springs. And what we don't use would remain, and then we would hope to have revenue, well, we won't hope, we will have revenue coming in.
I just want us to keep in mind, not to say, I don't want it to set too high, the next budget, okay, now we're gonna ask even for more, and we don't need it, because there's lots of times we'll get stuff and, we don't really need it. That's my only concern is, we're gonna, spend almost $600,000, and hopefully it's spent wisely.
Yeah.
That's all I have to
Yeah.
say.
No, I think that's a good concern, and well, I think we all hopefully would have that same concern. As far as Hart, we've been averaging a positive return beyond what we expend, and I don't know if it's, at one time it was $100,000 or something. I don't know if it's that much now.
It's not that much.
Yeah, so we thinking,
I just did an analysis, I did one for last year's budget that, I could bring it back the next meeting.
Well, and that's something we need to bring to y'all that we spoke about, but we haven't put together yet. We've had some increase in cost, which is increase in minimum wage. We've had an increase in power. And we've absorbed all those costs, is what we've done. So, we gotta make a consideration. Do we wanna continue to absorb those costs? Or do we want to, I think, do we wanna look at that? We gotta look into that a little bit deeper. I'm not sitting here saying we need to go up across the board at Hart Springs or anywhere. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there may be a minor adjustment we need to make, like maybe just in camping, because most people come in with 2 air conditioners and all that anymore sometimes. And it uses a little more power, and power rates have went up. So we just gotta kind of go back and analyze some of that and bring that to you. That's something we'll be doing.
At least do a comparison to some of the other campgrounds maybe.
Yes.
And the other thing is, Hart, I think, is having a good year this year.
Yeah, I mean,
As far as having more people,
Yeah,
that
it's-
means more revenue. I have a question for Richard. Account Department Code 54913, it says reserve American fee. What would that be?
That is the fee that is charged for the,
Reservations.
Royal Ambassador.
It's for reservations.
Reserve America.
It's our, it's how you book a.
Booking company.
It's your booking company, and it's
The booking
charged,
company that-
it's charged to the person making the reservation, but we have to have a budget line for that money to go through.
Okay.
Why it's not a cost to the county, it's a cost to the person making the reservation, but you have to have a budget line to charge those fees to.
It's a
Okay.
booking agent.
Plus,
I just didn't understand what it was
every
for.
week, they give us several $1,000s every Friday, just from reservations that were made, for just the prior week.
Okay.
Is there gonna be a new vehicle in here? Okay, no? Thank you.
So it's a booking fee, basically.
Yes,
Okay. But you have to budget it. Even though you get reimbursed, you still have to budget it.
yes.
Okay.
okay, any other questions from the board? What's the pleasure of the board?
So let me understand, Bobby, if we do the $573,900 and then you have a revenue, so it's kind of you expect as much revenue as you do expenses?
You have to have a balance, like Richard Roman's finance director, you have to, any budget that we offer on any fund must be balanced.
Okay.
So you've got to, if you're gonna have
You got to support it.
you gotta support it,
Okay.
so, yes.
Okay.
So this will come out of fund balance? No.
This is a balanced budget, we're saying the revenue
We're-
raised, go
Gotcha.
ahead.
So based on what's being
Okay.
proposed is, we're anticipating that you're gonna have a little over $400,000 in
Yes.
camping fees. You're gonna generate taxable concessions, non-taxable concessions, firewood, all of those line items. We're anticipating revenues that you would hope are gonna cover your expenses.
So basically, there'll be no cost.
That would, so,
If everything
so
were
Right.
we're
Yeah.
budgeting that there's gonna be no cost.
Right, exactly.
But the reality comes during the year,
That's
There's a
right.
flood.
in what your actual expenses are, what your actual revenues are. And so, to Commissioner Langford's question, if those don't line up, that becomes fund balance.
Yes.
That becomes, that has to be
Yeah.
covered somehow,
Just like
So-
any other department.
Oh.
Just
Whether it be
like any other
transportation,
department.
Solid waste, don't make no
just like
difference.
Hart Springs. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, exactly.
yes, it becomes an expense to the county if you don't generate enough revenue. So ultimately, it needs to be managed in a way that it's going to cover itself.
So let me, say the camping, for example, predicting 425,000. Is that conservatively? Is that 3/4 of the year full, or how does that work?
That was 6 months at 60%.
Okay, so it could be more.
It could be
It
more.
could be more. And here's what you, on these budget, you know, I'm sorry, Richard, I'm gonna talk in the terms a little bit that I understand. Sales dictates what you spend sometime on your expense side. If sales go down, your expenses go down. You don't have as much power, you don't have as much labor, there's different things. So, so what we had to do is go in here and look at what we thought was a conservative budget, that if we have a good year, I mean, it could be that this part rents out at 80, and we use more power than here, but we might use something less that's in here we don't need. So you have to watch that. Naturally, if you don't have the sales, but we've got some repairs that we got to go down there and do to start off with that you would not have each year. So you got some.
Yeah, I think that's the big one to consider is that, in this budget, you've got $175,000 in repair and maintenance.
Yeah.
And that's an assumption that there's going to be some repairs that have to occur to get the park up to speed, that you would hope is not recurring. It's going to be one-time expense or, expense that's not going to be incurred for a while. So, my hope would be that the next budget year, that number's going to be reduced.
Yeah, it should be reduced quite
Can
a
we
bit.
get some grants maybe for picnic tables or playground?
We can get apps for picnic areas and all that, but right now that cycle's not open, so you would apply for
Right.
that cycle, and then it would be funded in the next legislative session. So
Now, are we gonna, how long did you say this was gonna be closed for right now?
He didn't.
we
he
hope
didn't say.
mid-April. We'll be back open in
April.
mid-April, so that's about 45 days. We
And
gotta be back open for.
Are you gonna bring us the fee? Is it gonna be just like Heart Springs where you buy a
I want to
pass?
mirror the fees at Heart Springs is what we want to do. I don't think you want two different parks charging two different fees.
Will you
Okay.
have to hire a park manager?
Yes, sir, you'll need a park manager.
Okay.
You gotta get it back open in
The,
45 days or you'll lose the summer
But the-
revenue and you don't get any.
This is when most of your revenue comes in right now.
The
The-
residents I've talked to would love to see Alder Springs open back up and bring it back to what they remember of a great place to visit that was fun to swim and they had activities there. So I'm ready to step forward and get this thing going so we can open it back up and make it a park Gilchrist County can be proud of and the residents can use.
Absolutely. Now the cabins, how much we're gonna charge for them? Cause we don't have cabins at
I
Heart
need to bring
Springs.
all that back to
Okay,
you at the
all
next
right.
meeting. I've looked at some of those and I've got some numbers, but.
When you bring
know,
it back, will you
I
bring
didn't want to
it,
get ahead of myself. We've got to prove
when
operating.
you, when
if
you bring
y'all-
it back, will you bring back, like what we make right now off of, Heart Springs, off their house?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure we're,
Yeah, and the houses, what
Not
they rent at
charging.
Heart Springs is not gonna really compare to the cabins down there. That's
well, they
a
have
little
that still
different.
house I'm talking about, their still house.
We
We
can
can
look at
compare
that,
it to
yeah.
that kinda,
Okay.
Every day you're closed, you're losing money.
yes.
That's right.
I move to approve the budget review, revenue sheet for Alder Springs.
Second,
Okay, have-
Can we add, revenue and expense?
Revenue and expense
Thank you.
sheets for Alder Springs.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the proposed budget for opening up, repairing, getting Otter Springs back in order. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Next meeting. Mr. Chair, we will bring back a budget amendment to reflect these at our next meeting.
Okay.
And also at the next meeting, I've been working on the pricing structure like you were speaking about, and I'll have that at the next meeting as well.
good deal.
All right, Mr. Crosby, next item.
The next is under fire rescue. 7A is the second amendment for the medical director's services. If you'll remember, you approved that with Mr. Lane's approval that we could enter into this second amendment on the medical director. Mr. Lane did approve it. Mr. Smith has signed it, and it has been sent to Shands for their signature, the University of Florida. We just need approval of it.
Motion to approve the request.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Second Amendment for the medical director services. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
My next item is the grant agreement, FM 1230. This is appropriations grant through Department of Financial Services in the amount of $975,000 for a fire apparatus. This was part of the money that was in the check that we had here.
There's no matching fee on this one.
No, sir. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Is this the check the governor presented the other day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I thought.
For a pumper truck and a brush truck, right?
This is a fire apparatus. This is more of a fire truck style truck. The
Okay,
next
that's-
one is
Yep,
for a brush.
okay.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second to approve the grant agreement, FM 1230 for $975,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Can we write a thank you letter and mail it from the commissioners, Mr. Crosby,
Yes, sure.
to the,
Yeah, we would send it to our representative and our senator. Yep, we'll get one done.
thank you.
The next grant agreement is FM 1229. And it's for a squad type truck, like we run the smaller squad trucks, and it's an amount of $400,000. And again, it's from the Department of Financial Services through appropriations.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second to approve FM 1229 for $400,000. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion passes.
The next item is under community paramedic. I'm gonna let Ryan help with explaining this.
Yeah, this one's a little different than what we're used to.
Yeah, this is not his standard MOU that we've been coming up with, okay?
He's been on the ball, though. He brings one every time.
Working hard.
Ryan Clemens, Gilchrist County Fire Rescue Community Paramedicine. So this is an MOU with a company called Caroline Health Incorporated. Essentially what this MOU is going to let us do is bill insurance companies the way we do currently for EMS. So with community health work, community paramedicine, currently the only way for us to get reimbursed through insurance is to have a contract with a primary care provider, and then they bill it and we get a percentage. This is going to create in the state of Florida a providers network of EMS agencies that have CP, CHW programs, and we're going to be billing them directly, just like we do the EMS runs now. This company was recommended by the Department of Health, by BMO, Bureau of Emergency Medical Oversight. They have the 8 states which they do this in, and they're very successful. All the counties around us have already executed these MOUs as well. So this is a non-binding one. We're just going in to take all of the interest to the state and to the insurance companies and say, we have a network, now we want to start billing.
What's the cost?
Nothing.
Only if they recover.
Yeah, well,
Well-
then, go ahead.
No, I don't interrupt, Ryan. I had a couple of questions, though. I'll go ahead and shoot. This memorandum of understanding only is offered to the county to give us the opportunity to enter into a more definitive agreement with them to handle that sort of billing for us.
Correct.
Is that correct? And my question was, is there sufficient benefit to the county to even enter into this to do for us what we can do for ourselves?
So we cannot currently do this for ourselves.
Okay?
It's legally not possible.
How much money are we talking about?
It's going to make or break my program over the next 10 years.
Okay.
That much.
That's fair enough. So, and again, this only sets the county up, if you approve this, to authorize them then to bring us back an agreement that
Correct.
we would enter into after we reviewed it. And if you chose to go down that path, then they would handle all of the billing for community paramedics?
So it would actually be done through our billing company, just the same. These people will only be paid, they'll be paid out of, from insurance companies.
Okay,
We will not pay Caroline Health for anything.
And
All
again,
this is
and again, some of our surrounding communities have entered into this agreement.
Dixie County's already executed theirs, Lee is in the process of doing it, Washoe County has already done theirs, and my understanding is Columbia is doing theirs as well. Every EMS agency that has a CPCHW is, especially the rural ones, are entering into these. It's our best way to get, basically, we're getting an insurance network established for our services.
So Ryan, this has the potential to offset some of the budget for the community paramedic program.
And that's the point, is for our programs to be able to get some reimbursement. They'll never be completely self-sustaining, we know that, but we also know that the grant funds are going to run out. The core funds dwindle each year less and less, and then we're pretty much done, I think, with any kind of new fun, playful grants, if you will, for a while. And with the current administration, I think we can be pretty safe that as far as fire rescue goes, we won't have any of these that we've had for the last few years that have funded this. So we've got to find ways to fund the programs ourselves. That's what we're doing.
Mr. Chair, if I could. So if this was implemented, there's no cost to us to establish the program in essence. Once it goes into effect,
That's when what Duke was saying, we'll come back with another truly.
Yeah, this is a non-binding agreement right here just to move forward with it, but we'll look it over before we enter into it, once they give us back a proposed agreement.
And that'll be after all the rest of the counties have, so what they're wanting now, or this is showing that we have interest, we're gonna move forward with it, and then all of the counties will be sitting down with DOH and this company, and then we'll start campaigning with the insurance companies.
So are you recommending that we do this?
Absolutely.
And you're comfortable with it, Duke? For what we're doing?
I'm comfortable with one that doesn't obligate us.
Right.
I want to see what they come up with their side.
The next one might be a different story.
That's
And I
true.
do too, quite honestly, but once we execute this one, we can't find.
Then we don't go to the next step.
I'll make a motion, we approve the MOU because, like you said, it takes us to the next step. We don't even have to sign the agreement if everybody's not happy with it.
Okay.
But at least we get an opportunity to see what we're doing, plus you're finding another source of funding.
I'll second it.
We got a motion and a second to approve the MOU with Paraline Health. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
I do have one additional question. Should this move forward, we get everything in place to do the billing, how does it affect participants?
My program participants, so essentially if they have an insurance policy that we are kind of like in network, it's the best way I can really describe it, is building this network with providers. The insurance provider will basically have a reimbursement fee. It will not exclude anybody in the program. So we will never say we're not gonna see you or treat you because you don't have an insurance that we can reimburse. It's more of those, we're seeing you anyways, if you do have an insurance we can reimburse, we'll do it. If you will.
Okay?
I mean, it's much like an EMS call. It's a coin flip as to whether or not we're gonna get insurance reimbursement from it, but we're still going.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate all your work.
We're 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock time certain, ordinance 2026-05. Mr. Lang, gonna
Yes,
handle
sir.
that?
Ordinance number 2026-05 is an ordinance of the Board of County Commissioners of Gilchrist County, Florida, establishing a 35 mile per hour speed limit on Southeast 30th Street from County Road number 337 easterly to County Road Southeast 80th Avenue, making findings, providing penalty for violation, providing instructions to the codifier, and providing an effective date. That's reading by title only. I believe this is commonly known as the Cape Carlisle Road, across from Mr. and Ms. Vickers, Southeast 30th Street, for that period, that short stretch there. You wanted me to implement or draft this at the 35, and that's what we've done.
Okay. This has been advertised, and have we
Been
received
advertised
any?
and posted, been in the paper
Yes,
10
sir.
days before this meeting.
Have we received any input from anybody?
I haven't received any input from anyone.
Commissioners, have any?
I talked to one guy that lives on that road, and he said hallelujah.
Oh, we did.
But I told him the sign only means
Yeah.
one thing. It's posted, and that's what
What
it
I want
is,
you to know
but
about
it
it,
takes
right.
law enforcement to
Yeah, you're
enforce it.
actually going above and beyond, but I think that's a good idea y'all came up with, because a lot of times they don't see these ads in the paper, but by posting it out on the property itself, they have an opportunity to know there's a hearing if they want to come and speak.
I think he's the one that helped initiate it, because he told me his wife almost got hit by a car, and he said he was all for it.
Commissioner Sharon, this is your district, right?
No.
No? Oh, okay,
The man contacted me.
okay. Then, are you supportive, since it's your area and
Yeah,
district?
I'm the one who brought
I
it
think you
up.
brought it up.
All right,
I move to approve ordinance 2026-05.
Second.
okay, I have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 2026-05. Any public input? Not seeing any. All right, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Mr. Chairman, for the record, I've also included a business impact estimate. There is no estimated impact on anybody except potential speed violator.
Thank you, sir.
Okay?
I got a question before you do.
All right?
I brought it up before.
Mhm.
A lot of these people live on these dirt roads, on these speed limits. And it comes mighty cost their dust. They have to do every one of them and post them and all that. And we brought up one time about blanking the county, if it was a dirt road, it was automatically posted 45, 35 or something like that. Is there any way you could do something like that with these dirt roads? Because if they're not posted, speed limit's 55.
That's correct. Well, I think because the nuances of each road might generate a different speed limit, that's the reason you bring each road up here. I don't know if a blanket works for every
Because some
road.
may have more driveways than others, some may not have a driveway for 5 miles.
Some of them are wider than others.
Yeah, some
too.
are wider.
A lot wider.
Yeah, that was the reasoning behind it last time that I told you, because they're different, roads are different. There might, like Sharon said, be more reason to slow you down on some roads than there would be on others, but that's the reason y'all done it. And this is the method y'all had long before I got in this job. It's just each time they came with a road, we added it at different categories. Some are still at 55, as this one was actually, and now it's gonna be 35, so that's the deal.
Okay. Any other questions related? If not, we'll go back to Mr. Crosby and his final item, right?
Yeah, my final item's under solid waste. And Mr. Lang may want to comment on this some, but the conversation I had with Mr. Lang, he did the research on a shade meeting, on having a meeting about negotiating or giving the boundaries to negotiate the price for the property. After his reviewing, he didn't feel comfortable with saying we could have a shade meeting. He did feel comfortable with asking the Attorney General, but as we spoke, we kind of thought of maybe an easier way to do it. Not to discuss any amounts or anything here today, but if the board would allow Mr. Lang and I to reach out to the property owners, let us negotiate the best price we can get on behalf of the board, and then we will bring that price back to the board to make a decision on whether to purchase it or not. And we can do that as staff, and we can do it in the privacy of our office.
And then when do we hold the meeting, like, and send the notices out to the surrounding properties and all that?
Well, that would probably take about 60 days before you could have a meeting. Just say you purchased it quickly. You know, you're probably another 60 days out or so, wouldn't you say that'd be correct?
Probably.
To have that to zone it public.
Yep. But would we,
And then you may want to do a contract. We got a lot of, you may want to do a contract based on that they agree to your purchase price based on the rezoning, and not just purchase it, and then that way, you know, have that in there and then get that done. I did do some checking with, we did check with DEP, and we've checked with the Water Management District. The property can be permitted for the use. We don't know all that we would have to do at this point, but the great thing about DEP is it's just a transfer station. It's not.
so we wouldn't buy it ahead of time, we would
You would
go,
want to go through the
Well,
zoning process before
well-
you purchased it, wouldn't you?
Well, here, the way that we do this is that what Bobby's asking for is for us to approach the seller again we know what number that they had in mind that they wanted to ask for that property, and see if that's hard and fast. If it is, we would have to come back with an option to purchase for the board to agree, and Bobby has, I think, already probably ordered a survey up to make sure, I'm sorry.
Appraisal.
An appraisal to make sure we have a number that's in line with what they're asking for. But the problem is, you get in here, and this happened to us once before, the public comes in, cuts your knees out from under you and makes a little bit higher offer to those property owners. And to do a shade meeting, that's to handle upcoming litigation, things like that you can't talk on the record
Yes.
about. And there's not a provision there for these underlying purchase situations, so, in my opinion. So I think that would probably be the best thing, is to let Mr. Crosby and myself speak to the property owner, see what they come up with, and if we got a price, come out to you at the next meeting and let you know what that is. You can say yes when you enter into an option, move forward from there.
Okay. Do you need a motion for that, or just
I
general?
think you do. I think you need a motion to
Okay.
authorize it.
Board pleasure?
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the solid waste property update and let Bobby and, Mr. Lane, bargain for a price, that's within their
And
best price for
I'll second it.
the property.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to.
How much you got in you, dude?
Well, I don't know, so if they got a lot of money, there won't be much giveaway there, to be honest with you.
No, I feel comfortable letting y'all negotiate with them, and of course, we would want to get the best price possible, but
Well, I
that'll be
think
up to
Bobby-
y'all and them. to
And I
make a
think Bobby already
recommendation.
told you that he had mentioned to the seller, and since that, the type of facility would be putting there, they won't split the 40 acres. They won't sell us 20. They want the whole 40, so.
They want the whole 40, okay.
The other thing 40 would do is allow us to really put buffer and do some
Right.
things that,
Yeah,
And we might want to put
And
something
give
else
us
up.
room to
We might
expand
wanna
if we
move
need
in.
to.
Build a softball field next to it.
yeah.
Or
Get
animal
FERDAP
control or
grant and
something.
do a softball field will be good.
Yep.
okay. We have a motion and a second to move forward with negotiating on potential property. All those in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Do you think y'all ought to have something by the next meeting?
We should, Skip.
We should. I would think so.
Okay.
Sooner the better, so somebody else doesn't come along, because
Well, not only that, the
there's a
sooner.
sign on the property.
Right, but now this grant too, don't it have a timeline on it?
The grant, at this point, and we need to discuss this, probably not, my recommendation would not use the grant to purchase the property. We're having to put some matching funds with it, use the county funds to purchase the property and not the grant funds.
Right.
Because you're gonna expend all the grant
Yeah,
funds
yeah.
on construction and all. So I would use the county money for that and then use the grant money on the construction.
The 3.5 million that we put in there.
Right, yes, sir.
Right. So we already budgeted for that.
Right, yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Crosby?
No, Mr. Chairman, if y'all don't have anything else for me, I got a very dear friend in the hospital, and I would like to, if it's okay, if you could excuse me, I'd like to go
Absolutely.
ahead and go check on him.
And let him know that we are keeping him in our thoughts and prayers, please.
Most definitely.
I'd rather not, but I will.
Yeah, you need to go on over, Bobby.
I've got, in regard to what you've been discussing,
He needs to state his name.
Can you just say your name for the record?
Jackie Barron. Let me tell you one thing I learned in the 70s. The Lord works in mysterious ways. Outer Springs Park, I was well aware of the development. My family was real good friends with the people that managed it when the doctors bought it and developed it. You're looking at some very probable.
Be careful, Mr. Crosby.
Of some loss of ad valorem revenue in the near future. By what the state is doing on homestead exemption. I want you, I'm going to propose something to you. It is my belief, and I think it's worthy of exploration and evaluation, that Outer Springs property down there, which is over 600 acres, and the ability to expand that and the market for that type of expansion. There's 2 parks in Chiefland that have between them over 800 lots, RV lots. They stay full. The snowbird market has changed. We have full-time residents that some of us grew up with that live in some of the parks. Because of housing being what it is, it's cheaper for them to live in an RV than some other options. I honestly believe that this is worth serious proposal and serious consideration. And I want you to know that I'm very much in support and very willing to be involved in helping develop that, to leverage that system, bring it back up to what it was before, when the folks that started it down there had it in its heyday. But you've got other land there that could be developed into a more denser type of RV park. I think you've got a potential there for a multi-million-dollar revenue source.
Okay.
And it may be something that we are gonna really suffer from if we don't develop some other resources.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your input, and we appreciate your wisdom, Mr. Jackie, and we're going to have a budget workshop on March the 5th related to potential loss of property tax, if that's passed in our general election in November. And so we're going to be seeking input from you and other people on, if we lose $3 to $6 million is what the potential is, I think, what we're seeing right now.
How about 6 million?
3 to 6.
3 to 6.
Yeah,
Well,
depending on which proposal.
I honestly believe the potential is there without purchasing any more property and without degrading the natural scape of most of the river area down there. The ability on that existing site is there to develop a capacity to do that.
Okay.
You know what, the number one business, according to the national experts, the number one business to get into in today's society? RV parks.
Well, I didn't know that.
It is. Number 2 is car washes.
Well, I'm not surprised, but I mean, it's, and like I said,
It's a big business. Fort White, Brantford just opened up one out there in the middle of nowhere.
Let me take this one step further. I believe that I am being led to do this. This past Thursday night, well, I back up. I got separated from service in the military April 12, 1971. Just spent a year in Vietnam, in California. Came home, got married. 81, I became the clerk. I served 16 years in that capacity as clerk of the Circuit Court and budget officer for this county. Enjoyed that. I was ready to do something else, and I've done a lot of different things. But about April of last year, I joined the Disabled American Veterans. I'm 60% disabled from military activity. I joined the Disabled American Veterans group that meets in Alice Springs. This past Thursday night, they had an emergency meeting, which I attended, with no foreknowledge at all, and I've been designated the adjutant and the treasurer of that group.
Mm-hmm.
So, and those were the people that Dan was working with to help the 4 Vets program. So I honestly believe this now, and whether you believe it or not, I can't help you. But I really believe that the Lord has given us an opportunity to develop a revenue source to assist Gilchrist County, because if you lose $3 to $6 million out of the loan revenue, I know how tough that's going to be to find replacement. It's going to need cut from something.
A lot.
Yep.
I'm on board to help you any way I can, and I really think it's something that you could seriously consider. And I wouldn't realize, I didn't know that, Tommy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's an opportunity, and I think we need to take advantage of it.
Thank you for your service,
Thank you,
too.
Mr. Jackie.
Thank you for your service
Yeah.
in the military.
Appreciate you being here. All right, let's see, we are, Mr. Lang, you have any other items?
I think that's all, unless you have questions for me.
Any questions, anybody? All right, Mr. Newton.
So actually, I don't have anything additional. I do want to remind everyone that March 5th, we will have the workshop to discuss the upcoming proposals for ad valorem taxes,
What time is that meeting?
and that's going to be at 3:30. It's the
We're gonna have
Thursday.
our regular meeting after that?
No, our regular meeting will be that Monday, the
Okay,
2nd, I
the
believe.
meeting is on Monday now.
Yeah, so
Okay.
we'll have a regular board meeting March 2nd,
You'll send
regular
us an
time.
email reminding us? March
Yeah.
5th.
And
And
then,
you mentioned you and Mr. Richard are preparing some documents or summaries of our budget and what's required to be funded and
Correct.
kind of how things lay out, and then what's left if we lose $3 to $6 million. That's really where we're going to be, is what the board and the public thinks we should reduce after. I mean, they're basically saying public safety, the sheriff's office, fire rescue, those things you can't mess with. And that, not to say we would want to, but what's left, roads, parks, libraries, government,
Animal control.
solid waste, animal control, yeah. So all those things we'd look at and get input on March 5th.
Thank you.
All right? Sounds good. I think we're down to commissioners' reports.
Yeah, only thing I have, just, when we start deciding, the direction and what we're gonna be doing, Mr. Leslie Sapp contacted me, he'd be a good one to also to talk to and get his input.
Otter.
Yes, sir, at Otter Springs.
Talk to him as well.
He'd be a good one.
Yes,
I
he
don't know if eventually we might, have a committee or something to kind of give us, I know right now we need to get it, back open, but, eventually that's something we might want to do.
Yeah, he's got some good ideas.
He does.
He's local there.
It is-
and
Yes, sir, yep.
Lots of history, so he could help.
Who was it?
Mr. Leslie Sapp,
Oh, Leslie Slap, okay.
just
Okay.
keep that in mind.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Ansel? Commissioner?
I got a couple things. I don't know if the amount of rain we got's gonna have anything to do with the burn ban or not. I was gonna ask Bobby. It won't? Okay. I had people ask, so I'm asking. 138's looking good. Like I said, the only thing they like is the guardrails. Talked to Mr. Pittman, engineer on it. He said they're there. They just don't know how to put them up. He took them out and showed them how to do it, but they still hadn't done it. But we do have the contingency to back that up in case it don't get done. I'm not saying it won't get done. I know it will. It's just a matter of time of getting out there. And the other thing I wanted to mention to Bobby about, and I can bring this to his attention, I would like to invite Central Florida Electric to our next meeting. Todd, you might can help me out with that. Denny George or whoever. They have brought fiber optic to Gilchrist County. And it is, people don't realize what it has done for our county as far as residents, businesses, and all. It's almost like getting electricity all over again. It really is, because our world runs off the internet. You can't get a McDonald's hamburger without getting on the internet and ordering it.
Yeah.
So I talked to some of the businesses in town, the prices they were paying compared to what they're paying now.
Yeah.
They were paying $800 a month, now they're paying maybe $150,
Way down.
for the service. We as residents have got some of the best internet service out there.
Yeah.
And I'd really like to think, because they didn't have to do this. Matter of fact, they thought about it pretty heavy for a while. They finally decided, yes, we're gonna do this for our residents. They did it professionally, they did it above and a schedule. I mean, they were talking 4 years. It's done. Mr. George told me they got over 16,000 people hooked up. That's counting 3 counties. But still, what the internet to me has done for Gilchrist County is a major step. Before, 10 years ago, you would try to get a business to come to Gilchrist County. The first question they ask is, what's your internet capabilities? Well, we don't have none. Well, we're not coming. Even home businesses. People want to start home business. Couldn't do it. I talked to a guy at Fannin Springs in Riverwalk. He makes false teeth. He says now he can do business all over the world because he has the capability. So I would like to present them with a plaque or whatever we can do to thank them for what they've stepped up and done. It means, and their prices are very, very competitive, very good.
Well, I agree with you, and I'd like to thank them for doing it, but it is also a business. They are now making money on that.
I understand that, but they made the decision to do
So let's go
that.
to any business that's making money and go thank them for making money. I mean, I am agree that I'm glad they came in and did it, but it is a business and they are making money off of it, and that's what they intended to do from the beginning, and they got tax breaks to do that, but I am glad they did it. So glad they took the initiative to do it, but realizing it is a business and they are making money, and they took advantage of all the things that were available to them when that time came, so.
They're like the co-op, they're a member-owned co-op, so we're all.
We're all benefiting.
Yeah, that's right, we're all benefiting, and
We are.
hopefully overall, even with the electric part of it, having the fiber is just gonna support, a strong co-op, and it's gonna help all of us, hopefully.
Sure it will be. If they decided not to do it though, would we have what we got right now?
No, we'd have the business that's out there drilling all the roads up and ditches up and all that.
Yeah, so,
Right.
that's right. So I would just like to personally thank them for
Is it really?
for making that decision and doing it. I know they're a business, I know they're making money, we're part of the co-op, like Darrell said. All businesses make money. If they didn't, they wouldn't be in business.
That's right.
But,
That's right.
for them to make that decision, to offer us what they did, of course they're making money off of it, and that's one reason they did it, okay? I understand that. But to make the decision to do it as a co-op, to spend the money, put their neck out there, go after the money and all that kind of stuff, guys, it's the lifeblood of this community
Oh, yeah.
to have the internet service. College students were driving to McDonald's in Chiefland to do online courses. They don't have to do that anymore. Now, was there wireless out there? Yes. Was there other alternatives, HughesNets and all this? Yes, there were. But what we have right now, to me, is superior to anything else.
It's nice.
It is.
So
Can we
I
do
agree.
that, Todd?
we can try and, I'll contact them. and see
If they can't make it next meeting, just something.
Yeah, and it may not be Denny that could come, but we could have somebody try and
To
be.
represent them.
George Buckner is the one that's
Yeah.
overseeing that.
Their annual meeting is
He needs to come up and podium.
on, May 2nd. In the fairground.
Oh, their annual meeting, okay.
Yeah,
You might consider.
yeah, going to them.
Presentation.
Right.
At their meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we can reach
That-
out to Mr. Denny, and
That might be a better route, is.
We can do that.
Presenting to them at their
get more
meeting.
recognition, yeah.
We can do
Yeah,
that.
in
When
front
is
of
their
in front
meeting?
of
May-
their
You said May
constituents.
2nd?
May 2nd.
What time is their meeting?
I think it's around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. It's all
It
day.
usually starts early in the
Tri-County,
morning.
Tri-County Fairgrounds, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Langford, anything?
No, sir, that's all I have. I just hope we get some more rain.
Yep, all right, Mr. Martin?
No, I had, most of my calls this week were about Otter Springs and how long it's gonna be closed and what were they doing and why did we take it back over? And I said, no, it wasn't, no hostile takeover or anything like that. It was a mutual agreement to take it back, and they would love to see improvements made and bring it back to, as Mr. said, kind of the glory days of what we remember Otter Springs being and getting it back up and running, so.
I will say Ellie Ray's is closed temporarily too.
Yeah.
I don't know how long, but their sign out there says it's temporarily closed.
Okay.
They're gonna be doing some
Remodeling.
renovations.
I had nothing else.
Mr. Thomas?
You got nothing?
Nothing? I was gonna mention, Solid Waste had their toxic roundup where they working with Alachua County here a couple weeks ago. I went out there, it was very well organized, and I was just gonna we'll thank Bobby Rush and all the crew that worked there. Somebody mentioned County Line Road south. What is that, 90th? 90th, and there's some cracks starting to show up, and that's something we ought to maybe take a look at and see if we can repair. The other thing I was going to mention is the new extension building. Went out and with Jessica from the extension office, and Commissioner Simpson came before the gathering and walked through along with Mr. Newton and also Senator Moody's representative. What was her name? I can't remember. Sorry.
Esther Bird.
Okay. Anyway, we walked through, and he was very enthusiastic, I guess, about the progress. You know, their department provided $1 million for that new building, and we've applied for phase 2, and maybe we'll get some of that money as well to help continue to build that project out. So that's all I have. Any other public participation? Anybody want to provide any input? We appreciate everybody being here. Seeing none, so we have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A motion and a second. We will adjourn.
Mr. Martin, do I owe you any money?